Good morning and welcome to the Welsh Wire. We're Facebook Live today with Fred Schubkegel from Varnum. Fred, welcome to the Welsh Wire.
Thanks, Sheri.
Glad to have you with us today.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
So tell us a little bit about Varnum, Fred.
Well, Varnum is an old law firm. We've been around for about 130 years. We trace our roots back that far, starting in Grand Rapids. So we've gradually spread across the state so that we have a footprint now throughout the state and all the major cities and locations, still continuing to grow. We think of ourselves as a full-service law firm, but we're geared primarily to business interests and folks who have high-level legal needs, real specialized legal needs. So that's our simple story.
Right. Hometown, Grand Rapids firm, growing across the state. And today we're with Fred at the Varnum offices in Kalamazoo.
Right.
And the firm, as you mentioned, has grown tremendously over the past few years, which is really exciting. Obviously, you're doing some really great work for your clients here along the way. And to do that, we know that requires a really great team.
Yeah. Teamwork is really something that we seize on to, Sheri. We, it's sort of a trendy thing to talk about teams, but it's really our roots and our culture. We've been doing this a long time this way. Some law firms are geared towards the individual story of success and their individual book and that sort of thing. And we have always taught and thought about ourselves as teams. The clients we work for have a team of lawyers so that it increases accessibility for us. Right. It's not just one person dependent. We have a lot of folks at a lot of different levels that can interface with the client. And we've been really happy with the success internally. It gives a lot of satisfaction. We get to know each other. We get to work closely throughout the day, and we also get to know our clients. So it becomes a much deeper relationship, not just a business transaction.
Right. You talk about yourselves as a firm as being innovative and entrepreneurial. I have to say those are a couple of words that aren't usually used to describe people in the practice of law.
I guess that's probably right.
What does that look like and feel like here at Varnum?
Yeah, we do encourage a lot of innovation. We invest a lot in technology, and we invest in people who are willing to take some chances. And we give them the opportunity to do that, so that if we try something new, some new industry group, as we start attacking the battery industry, for example, as it's coming to Michigan, if we start reaching out to support entrepreneurs with a new format and a new program that we could talk about at some point, our MiSpringboard program, those are the kind of things that are really celebrated here. So, and people aren't punished if for some chance, by some chance, it doesn't work out just the way we thought as we predicted. But it's something that we do together, and really encourage folks to bring that to us. So as a group and as a team, we can try something new.
That probably makes you a real attractive option for an attorney or someone in the legal profession who wants a different experience than what they're used to. You probably attract a very different kind of person.
Yeah, we have had success with that, and we're actually very proud of that. Lateral hiring has really been the wave of the current.
And tell us what you mean by that. Just for
the traditional hiring model for a law firm was that you interviewed folks out of law school, they worked in your summer program, and then they received an offer and they start working their way up through the ranks and developed through the partnership. It was always the traditional model for 100 years. 100 years, that was the model. Today's market is much more fluid. You have two-income couples. You have folks much more willing to move geographically, so that there's a fluidity to the market that we haven't seen before. Firms like ours are much more open to bringing lawyers in from an established practice with another law firm, perhaps on their own. Perhaps they've left law and gone into business and want to come back and engage in the practice of law in a new and different way. And we really feel like we offer that option. We're not for everyone. If you are truly very self-focused, you're not going to fit well here, because we really take it seriously when we play in teams. But if you want to come and join a larger platform, allow you to really specialize, I do a relatively narrow skill set of legal practice. I'm never in the courtroom. I do deals, I do real estate, I do environmental, I work for Indian tribes. but it really allows me to have a lot of professional satisfaction, a lot of job satisfaction, and I think that's apparent to our clients. You know, I'm excited to hear from my clients. I'm excited to help them make success, and our team celebrates together. You know, we have dinners together with clients and really feel like we're in this thing together. So for a lawyer who is wanting to come and be a part of something like that, that really is what we offer. Almost all of our lawyers in this office are lateral hires. We have one homegrown lawyer, and the rest are laterals. So 80% of our hiring now is all lateral hiring.
That is really interesting. So different from the way it was several years ago, and I can understand why that can make a difference to your organization too. I would imagine when you first start in the practice of law, you think you know what you want, right? And then over time, you develop your craft and your skills and the type of clients that you're working with, and you think, maybe this isn't such a good fit for me. Maybe I want to do something different and look at another firm. Now things have changed, and you present an offering to those people who may feel like their first choice right out of law school wasn't the right fit. You're a very attractive option.
Right. We like to think so. We work hard at blending people into our culture as well, Sheri. We have a landing team, it's called LAND, lateral hiring team, that actually works with our new people for 18 months on a formal basis.
That's a
to
long
make sure
time.
It's a long time. But just to make sure they know who does what around here and how to get the support, and if your computer's not working right, how do you call the right person and get it fixed. All those little things that day to day are a distraction from really the enjoyment of the practice of law. We really like to make that as easy and seamless as possible, because some of the hesitancy from moving sometimes is having to start over on that. You know, you're comfortable where you're at, you know how to do it, you know where your parking space is, and getting all that stuff set and really providing support for that. We've had a very high level of success with our lateral hiring, far above the national averages, and we're very proud of that.
Well, and I think I understand why too, because for most organizations, onboarding, which is really what your LAND program is, onboarding might last a week, 30 days, if you're lucky 6 months. 18 months is a long time, but it probably makes the difference, and you have the results to show that in your firm it does. That's outstanding.
We've been
great
very
best
happy
practice too for others to emulate.
Right.
We just want to remind you that we're on our Facebook Live show today with Fred Schubkegel, the managing partner at Varnum in Kalamazoo. If you like our conversation and like what you're hearing today, please like us on Facebook and share our podcast and our broadcast along as well. So let's talk about what you do here. You manage the Kalamazoo office.
I do.
For Varnum.
Yep.
And you've recently moved into some incredibly wonderful space here in downtown Kalamazoo. Tell us about that transformation and what brought you here.
Yeah, we're really excited about the space. It is something new for us. It's something that we've been doing in our other offices around the state, as we have the opportunity to move and invest in our spaces. And I have to tell you, I was a little bit skeptical, being a little old school myself and wanting my privacy and things quiet, and I need to concentrate, because as you can see in the offices around you, there's lots of glass, there's lots of open space, there's very intentional teaming areas and ways to interact with each other in groups. We intentionally run into each other. We actually design the pathways around the office to make sure that we would see each other more and be in each other's lives. And boy, I have to tell you, I am a believer. It is so nice to be able to come in and have a lot of light, a lot of space, a lot of air. We hear each other a little bit more, which takes some getting used to. But, you know, it's great to hear each other a little more, because we really do feel like we're part of each other's lives. And I'm a believer. I have to wait. I went from a skeptic to a believer.
Oh, isn't that great? Well, and millennials, as you hire younger and younger workers into your firm, too, I mean, really like that collaborative space. But there's a lot for us old-timers, too, to learn and benefit from shared space like that. And the space is gorgeous. So tell us about how many attorneys you have here, about specialties in this office and your specialty. What is it that you do different here maybe than Grand Rapids or Detroit?
Sure, absolutely. We have, you know, depending how you count them, 13 professionals here. One of the concepts of the office space is that we do have hoteling space, so folks can move in and move out. We have folks who like to spend some winter time in Florida, so they work from down there, come back, hotel in their office, and hotel right back out. We have some flex space for attorneys that work primarily out of Grand Rapids but are in Kalamazoo a day and a half a week. So, you know, we do have 20 offices, and we count about 13 professionals here. 5 full-time staff to support that. So it's a nice little group. It's a small office feel, but we are part of a much bigger law firm. And again, back to the specialization, it allows us to really become experts in our field, so that if someone calls and has a question for me about an environmental issue, I just inherited a property and it has a leaking underground storage tank, and what do I do? You know, you're talking to someone who's experienced in the field and can answer those questions, hopefully right on the phone, or say, let me check that and get back to you.
Right.
And it's a very quick turnaround time. It's a very high-level advice, sort of cutting-edge, sophisticated planning techniques we always try to stay ahead of. So it really allows us to deliver a high-value proposition to our clients and to the friends of the law firm. In this particular office, we have a really strong expertise in environmental, in real estate. I do practice for Native American tribes, which is a little bit unique and different. We do all that for the law firm. One of my partners here is very strong in riparian rights, which is water rights, lakefront rights, which of course is very important in Michigan, and practices all over the state, really all over the Midwest. Blogs frequently, gives seminar on those sorts of topics. So we have some nice, unique little niches, as well as general practice, sort of your day-to-day business transaction, if there's a dispute or litigation, family law planning, if those needs arise, that sort of thing.
You can handle that as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good. Some of the amenities in the office here that you mentioned, beautiful space with the glass, open collaborative space. You mentioned also, I think, that you have room for clients to be able to come in and use the space. You have room for networking events, which you maybe have never had.
Yep. Yeah. No, that was a nice benefit of being able to rethink the space. Instead of narrow hallways and quiet individual offices, we could create bigger sort of gathering spaces. So we had a wonderful office opening party last fall. We're looking forward to being able to do that again soon. I've had, for example, just last week, a client come in and use our conference rooms for 2 days straight as they were working on a very confidential transaction, wanted to get that away from their own space, and we were able to accommodate that and are happy to do it.
Great. So have you noticed since moving here, is your team different? Has it affected the way you work together, the way you serve your clients, the way you interact?
Yeah.
Have you noticed it?
Yeah. I mean, it's in some ways it's subtle, but there's a very definite difference as well. And everything from just the easier access to the building, the higher visibility. It's easier to tell clients where we are and how to get here. And then just coming up and seeing again, we use the word open a lot, but very much the open space and the glass, and interacting with a lot of the team just in every visit here as we kind of work through and travel through the space together. So there really has been more of a feeling of togetherness. We're in each other's lives more. And the sort of the tangible benefits of that, or the differences, is people do go to lunch together more. People do stop after work a little bit together more. We know more what's going on in people's kids' lives and their own individual lives, and it's just a much more natural relationship. It's deeper than just the work relationship, which is nice.
Great. But that spills over into the way you serve your clients.
Right.
I would imagine also, because when you function better together as a team, that allows you to collaborate, innovate, bringing in that Varnum spirit of entrepreneurialism and innovation, spills over into the solutions and the help that you would give your clients.
Yeah, that solutions word is a very good one, Sheri. We, a number of years ago, together went through Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, and we really grabbed onto that concept of good to great and what made organizations truly different. And one of the things that really resonated with us and with our client service focus was each individual having the responsibility and the opportunity and the permission to see something through to the end. So if a client called and said, I'd really like to get a copy of my estate planning documents, if the assistant or person took that call, passes that on to the attorney whose relationship has that responsibility, but then is not sure if anything's happening, it's okay to follow up and say, hey, did you get those documents to Ms. Jones or to Mr. Smith? And say, I can help you do that, and make sure the client is served and gets what they're looking for, and not the different approach, which could be, well, I told so and so, and now it's their problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I did my job.
Which happens so often to many of us. So it's that personal touch and go in the action. That's all created, I think, and fostered in an environment like this where you really are teaming well together.
Yep, couldn't agree more.
That's great. Again, we're on Facebook Live today with Fred Schubkegel from Varnum. We encourage you to share this program if you like it, and also like us on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. So you are a unique law firm with a unique culture, great, unique, and innovative space too, not like others. My suspicion is it was probably a lot of this culture that led to the creation of another very novel entrepreneurial support program that Varnum launched about 7 years ago now, MiSpringboard.
Right.
I feel like it's one of the best kept secrets in Michigan.
Yeah.
But tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about MiSpringboard. It's a program near and dear to my heart. What happened, Sheri, is when the economy was very bad in Michigan, as we all remember, the governor invited some of the leading service providers and firms and companies in the state to do something to help Michigan, to help grow jobs in Michigan, to help the Michigan economy. And we took that challenge, and we put together the MiSpringboard program, which we refer to as MiSpringboard, which was a giveaway of $1 million in legal fees to growing companies that are creating jobs or retaining jobs in Michigan. We didn't want there to be any hesitancy or any barrier to a company staying in Michigan, starting in Michigan, growing in Michigan, because they felt like they couldn't, they didn't want to figure out the legal aspects of it,
right. How
to lease the space, how to form the company, how to do the expansion that they needed to do here in order to grow jobs here. So we committed to $1 million of legal fees over a 5-year period, stood on the dais with the governor and announced the program. We were all excited about it, but we weren't sure what was going to happen.
Right.
And we've been very happy.
You build it, but will they come?
Exactly. But we've been very happy with the response. It was so successful that at the end of that first 5 years, we renewed the program for another 5 years, another $1 million of fees. So companies can come. They're typically referred through some of our partners, like the economic development agencies around the state.
Right. You have a long list
yeah.
on your website of all of the partners
Yes.
that you work with, which is really
Yeah.
impressive. Helps you really find and identify those entrepreneurs who need the help the most.
Yeah, and they've been great. The Southwest Michigan First and Battle Creek Unlimited and Cornerstone Alliance over by the lake, those type of entities, and the state agencies, Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
Right.
They talk to folks, refer them over. There's an application process with us, but it's fairly straightforward, and it's 24-hour turnaround. So there's no slowdown if you had immediate needs for a legal question getting answered, legal documents being prepared, that sort of thing. We really feel like we've positioned the program and the attorneys who support it in a way that you're treated just like any other client.
Right.
There's no second-class citizen. For purposes of keeping score, when we evaluate people, service done for a MiSpringboard client is treated just the same as for our biggest and best and most important clients.
Right, and it sounds like you haven't narrowly defined what you will or will not do for those clients either. It sounds like you're sitting down with them,
yep.
providing them with consultation to really understand what it is they need, and can offer a wide array of services or options
yes.
to meet those needs with
yes.
that consultation.
Yep, absolutely. So
great.
they have access to, again, all the specialties, whether it's business organization, tax planning,
right.
patent and copyright law, trademark law is frequently important for a business that's getting going or expanding, lots of lease review, agreements with contractors, that sort of thing. So we're happy to offer that full menu of service choices that we have. And we try to be clear about, we'll do this for you. There's no obligation to continue to use us in the future. Of course, we would love to continue to work with folks who are building Michigan, because it's very much what we believe in. We really have all our offices in the state and try to have a footprint that can serve the state.
Right, absolutely, and you've done a great job with that. So, initial $1 million investment, re-upped for a second $1 million investment, and the numbers, I understand, 400?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right, Sheri. I think last look it was over 400 companies that we've been able to serve, 100 different communities around the state, including way up in the Keweenaw Peninsula, and then of course over in the Detroit area as well, and really everything in between. So we've been happy with that spread of the footprint as well.
Can you tell us a story about someone you may have worked with, or a client you may have worked with, and someone in Varnum?
Yeah, a couple of fun ones locally here. As you may know, Southwest Michigan First sponsors a contest every year called Maker's Mart, where companies are selected who are new and growing in the area, and Confections with Convictions, a little company here in town that makes gourmet chocolates.
And they are fabulous. Shout out to them.
They
right
are
now.
good.
They're fabulous.
And we use them. We cater. We use them to cater here too. So you should use them too. But they employ the hard to employ. A lot of youth coming out of the rehab programs, which is awesome. And Dale Anderson, whose company that is a counselor by certification and licensing, and can also make great chocolates. So we were happy to help them get set up and look at their contracts and offer some legal services that way. So that's a fun story.
Great. Did you get to work with them personally on that project?
I did.
Oh,
I did,
nice.
So
it's a great organization.
It's
Again,
a good
we
company.
highly encourage you. Check out Confections with Conviction.
Indeed. Indeed.
So if our viewers would like a little bit more information on MiSpringboard,
yes,
or to learn more about Varnum, how can they find out more about you, the firm? Tell us about that, Fred.
Yep, MiSpringboard has its own landing page, so you can go to www.mispringboard.com, and that's spelled M-I, springboard, all one word, .com. And you can also click through on varnumlaw.com and find the MiSpringboard program there, and that's where you find out about our firm as well.
Right.
So all the practice areas, all of our people, all of our offices, you can read all our blog posts and other things that we have going on. We try to be active, with our web presence, like a lot of players these days, to get the word out.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time on the Welsh Wire today. We've been talking with Fred Schubkegel, managing partner of the Kalamazoo office of Varnum. We appreciate you being with us today.